Cool, we're back with the live blog update.
So they're going to talk about Carplay next. Interesting.
I do want to install Carplay on my car.
Yeah.
replace my dashboard installed on the Honda Civic 2013, which is not smart at all.
Speaking of, you just said the thing that they just said. If
Oh,
you go
did
to
it?
the bottom here, they say 79% US buyers only consider CarPlay capable devices.
Yeah, it just makes sense, especially in US, right?
Yep. All right, so we're getting an update on CarPlay. Oh wow, they already have different colors.
Oh, that's a UI.
Yeah, it's a UI update. So unified and consistent UI. The UI looks so much like Tesla's UI.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll show that one. So if you look at the second screenshot, you can see that it looks like a Tesla dashboard. If you go up a little bit on the screen, you can see yeah, doesn't that look like Tesla a little bit? Updating on the bottom widgets, left and right
Yeah,
splitting.
yeah, yeah. They definitely come in later and then bring the good stuff. This is like a big change though. It's not like you can install it in your old car. You definitely have to buy a new car that extends the whole screen.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
maybe I'll wait for the new Tesla to have this full spectrum screen. That's interesting. W- For this headphone I have from Sony, they
Yeah.
they had make you take my shape of the ear as a photo, and they tuned to it. Uh oh, the big new advancements. So I'm wondering, they're gonna make you take a photo of your ear shape and customize to it. WatchOS. They're just
So
going through
watchOS
to it.
9 is coming out. So a quick glance stuff. Interesting. 4 new watch faces to choose from. Oh, they do that little scroll effect that we saw earlier. Lunar and
That's kind of cool.
yeah.
That's really good for kids to learn, like with their science projects and stuff.
Mhm. Which one are you referring to?
Oh, sorry, I was referring to the moon phase
Oh, yeah,
where
yeah.
it shows the different moon phase depending on the day. That's such a cool gimmick for kids because when you're young,
Mm.
you'll be learning about moon phase and how sun hits and
Rich complications. Let's see what they're gonna show now with this. Refresh Siri UI, banner notifications, active apps pinned. Podcast app on the watch is now through Listen Now and Search. Oh, they have an update on the Share API. Okay, updates to keep you active. I added some more screenshots below there, Elisha. If you want to show those. So you can see some of the other things. They showed how you can discover and search with podcasts, which is what we have on the screen. Down below, you see Siri was updated, as well as some new watch faces. And then on the bottom one with the big one is showing that complications are available across all.
well, the metric related one looks pretty cool. Running form.
Oh, energy wasting through form. Interesting. Wow. So Apple Watch now looks at your distinctive style of running. So it's looking at your accelerometer and the gyroscope to see your technique of running. Are you running in a way that's ineffective? So they added a new metric called ground contact time, which is GCT. Then it tells you your heart rate zone during your run. So it tells you where you sit in your zone.
I also like the heart rate. Yeah, the zone is kind of nice way. Otherwise, if you just see like 110, 120, what does that mean? it's easier to understand, like, oh yeah, you want to be hitting zone 4 or something like that.
Yes, exactly. And they're doing power targets, so when you're running, you can just be targeting a specific power that you're looking for, which is nice. It might be good, Elisha, on what you're sharing on your screen. We have that open in the browser, and you share the browser, and then you could be updating here. So all we're getting is like the update that you just scroll through, and we don't get like the Notion UI. I was just thinking about that for viewers to just get like the kind of non-edited version, view version.
Yeah, the website refresh pretty slow, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to keep refreshing. There's like a few minutes of delay. So with the iPhone, you get some of the data now. But the sleep app now. Sleep stages is a new concept. So they're going through that same how long you were sleeping, what stage you were in with the REM core deep.
Have
So
you ever
people
done the
think,
research app, by the way, where you can
uh-uh,
share your data? Yeah, me
I actually
neither.
haven't done it. Yeah, that's a cool part where the data is gathered live instead of just they have done study with 100 participants and that represents everyone in the world to really customizing to the users of the Apple Watches.
Oh, interesting. AFib history.
AFib history, interesting. Never heard of AFib.
Yeah, that's a pretty innovative one that has to do with over the long term.
Is that a new concept?
I think it's the one that's usually you get on other devices. I mean, they've been doing this for a while where they keep saying, "Hey, this normally is a multi-thousand-dollar device for not for consumers. Hey, now it's on your wrist." Oh, medication tracking.
Medications. The notification is really nice. I think I manually entered those in my Google Calendar before to
Oh
track.
yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about using this actually because I do track, and they say medication and supplements. Because if you don't take medications, you might be taking supplements. I'm like, oh, now you can say, did I do it or not? Being able to scan the label, that's pretty awesome.
Wow, scanning label is cool actually.
Yeah. Drug interactions with side effects.
Oh, I mean, I'm hoping that doctor will prescribe
Tell you
you
tell you that,
to
right?
use it, right? But you can never fully, yeah, because I think unfortunately people keep old medicines that were prescribed, and you're not supposed to keep taking it. You're supposed to discard it. But I know some people do keep old medication from like previous interaction with their doctor, and they just take it, which is not healthy. But it's good to
Oh,
know those complications.
wow. Did you see that? Like, I could have
Mhm.
my mom or my grandma share my medication tracking. That's pretty cool.
Now the question is, can our grandma remember to press the button?
Yeah, well, I think you could do it once, and then from there on out, it's like a location, hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I like it. I feel like they should use it for chore tracking too. Did your kid do their chore?
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited with all the updates, and these are not exclusive to the latest watch, right?
No.
Like nothing is dependent on the hardware
So far, no.
feature. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's the kinda summary screen. You could see all the things we talked about that.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna talk about Mac next. Alright, let's see what they got Mac. Is it a new hardware device? Is it something
Air,
different?
MacBook Air and MacBook is the
It's a
prediction that
rumor,
I
right?
think generally people have, yeah. Yeah, like in fact, we might get one.
Mhm. So we have the M1. They're talking about what
And
M1 brought to the Mac, and they've transitioned almost the entire suite of Macs.
yeah, and they said 2 years ago that's gonna take 2 years to transition. So
Yeah.
this could be the last big transition, which
So they're
covers
gonna
the
start
Air, yeah.
the
We'll see.
next generation of Apple Silicon. Oh no. App M2. Oh man.
There you
We
go.
just got M1.
Yep. This was actually expected, so no
Yeah.
surprise.
So there you go.
Cool thing is, like, whether you get M1 or M2, it's like it's already so good. That's like a minor difference compared to Intel series that we used to have.
So they're saying that in comparison to the industry that they do it very different. They're looking for power efficient performance, maximizing performance while minimizing the power consumption. Interesting. So it's second generation 5 nanometer, 20 billion transistors, 25% more than M1.
It's already 50% more bandwidth than
Yeah.
M1 on the memory. I think M1 is already fast though, so it's not like we're like, uh-oh, 24 gigabyte unified memory at the base level?
Oh, yeah.
That's huge though, because we only get 16 at the base for the M1s, and you have to pay a lot more to upgrade. 80% more CPU performance. Okay, so these are at the same power level. So I bet it's comparing M1 to M2 and not necessarily M1 Max or M1 Pro because I bet
Yeah,
the gap are smaller between those.
it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, power efficiency is such a huge deal because laptop limitation hits actually at the heat and energy consumption and not necessarily hitting true potential of the CPU because it has to be throttled down. And that's why AMD was able to come ahead of Intel because of energy efficiency and low energy
Mhm,
consumption.
mhm.
Because that means you can go at the max speed much longer and not have to throttle by using a fan and slow down.
That's true.
I'm really excited because if MacBook Air has M2, even at the base level M2, it's like
Mhm.
most people can forget about Pro
Yeah.
level computers. And it's going to be like way lighter.
Better media engine encoder, that's a big one for video editors
That
if you do
is
that.
HK264. Whoa. ProRes.
Multiple streams of 4K and 8K at the same time. Wow. That's a big, big deal.
Wow.
I'm gonna put
Impressive.
that on the screen here. The
Yeah,
top. I've just added it, the summary screen at the top that shows the summary of
impressive.
everything. ProRes encoding, 6K external display, 15.8 trillion operations. Wow, big deal.
If this comes in at the base MacBook or Air, I think we're buying one. Because where
MacBook
you were,
Air.
yeah, because we're trying to buy new. There you go.
Okay. So it's the first Mac they're introducing with M2. It's the MacBook Air. Completely redesigned around M2. Okay, so we're gonna get a video of the MacBook Air with the M2 chip. Nice fancy video with modern music in the background.
The feather.
Yeah, it's got it looks like an iPad. Whoa. Don't tell me it's a separate display. No, okay.
Does it gonna have a notch? What about color? I think color was the biggest thing
Oh, I
that.
see a notch.
Okay, there's a notch. The latest rumor was that they may not have color variations. Oh yeah.
4
Yeah,
colors.
unfortunately, yeah. People thought they're gonna have the same iMac color set, the
Yep.
colorful set, but
Yep.
the latest had it that they might not have it. Aw, that's the only thing they missed, I think.
Yeah. So it's got the look of the M1 Mac, which is
Mm.
the one I have.
Pro, right? You have the Pro?
Yeah, I have the Pro, MacBook Pro. It looks just like the MacBook Pro, like the same style. It's kind of this
Mhm.
older look, but it's like it looks exactly like my Pro
They
right
have
now.
MagSafe
Thinner.
on the left, 2
Yep.
USB-C on the left. Oh, there's no USB-C on the right side. So
Uh-oh.
you're gonna be limited to only 2 USB-C.
2.7 pounds is way lighter than mine. 4 finishes of color.
Yeah, I think they need more color, honestly. You're
MagSafe
targeting
is
like
back.
targeting college students and the demography, they probably want more color.
Hey, audio jack is a feature. Oh, that's funny. Oh, guys, there's a notch. Liquid Retina display is nice.
Is it mini LED? 13.6-inch display.
25% brighter than the previous one. 1 billion colors.
So that might be
Oh, camera's improved.
micro. Oh, is it 1080p?
1080p FaceTime HD. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they needed the update. They needed it. Like so many people are on the call with the camera on.
Yeah. Audio's improved. It's
Actually,
got a 3 mic array, which is nice.
I haven't tried how good the audio is actually without the headset on with my new
Oh, interesting.
MacBook Pro. So I wonder how good they became. Spatial audio, okay.
Touch ID gets built in.
I have been liking Touch ID, so that's a nice addition there too.
Yep.
Ooh, 5 times faster than
Yeah,
previous
5
MacBook.
times faster.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I want to know how good it is compared to the previous generations of MacBook Pros. For people switching over like us, like we have 2016 MacBook Pro, and like if the MacBook Air has the M2 chip, I think we should replace our Intel Pro.
Yep.
Oh, 18 hours of video playback.
There's
That's
a new
huge.
power adapter with 2 USB-C ports. 2 devices at once getting charged.
What? What? Fast charge.
50% in 30 minutes. That's a big deal.
Wow. That's huge. That's huge. Yeah, this is selling. I guess they don't talk
A
about the
cool little
price
video.
at this point, huh?
They might right after. It's a cool little video with music again.
They're emphasizing the fact that you're floating because it's like a feather, right? All feather
Yeah.
thing. MagSafe.
Supercharged with the M2.
Play game, edit video. Magic keyboard. Works great with the iPhone. Except the video. Liquid Retina. I'm curious if it's a micro LED or not.
Wow. Crazy. Apple Silicon's like definitely revolutionizing these laptops. It was a big deal for them to go to their own proprietary chips. And we're seeing a result of that live, right? Now for a couple of years.
Yeah, I feel like they came back around quite a bit because because it was still common for people to still talk about like, well, yeah, but you got to go to PC for real, power, right? But I think it's pretty much like changing with this M series. Like, oh my god, I think they'll be a king if they have PC games so forth, but because of that, PC will still be in its own strong category. After 24 GB unified memory, so I wonder where it starts at the base price.
$20 of video playback for that one. So we're talking about the MacBook Pro 13-inch with the M2 chip. The biggest thing that stood out to me, Elisha, were just M2 chip, obviously, 20 hours of playback. And of course, we're getting a lot of the environmentally friendly stuff that comes with all these.
They compared. Oh, 11.99. Okay, yes. I think we're solved.
Yeah.
12.99.
Next month. Okay, so Mac OS. Mac OS is new. Let's check out.
Fitness. Oh no, never mind. Not a
Mac
fitness.
OS.
Okay, it's got some purpley color this time. I think the rumor had it that they might announce their new application.
Crack product marketing team. That's a
What?
weird reference.
They're on a crack. I don't know if you want to say that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, the naming. Here we go. Here we go. It's super vibrant California wildflowers.
Oh, so it's not a mountain?
Mac OS Ventura. There it is. There's the announcement.
Ventura. Having a lot of windows open, that's a problem. What's the solution?
Mm-hmm.
Moving between tasks.
Remember how they did that with the desktop? They like stack all the files. So it looks like they're introducing what's called Stage Manager.
Stage manager. They're talking about how they already have mission controls, but
Focus on
it's
the app
not
you're
good
using.
enough.
Yeah. So it's in Control Center.
So you can get the main application in the middle, and then it creates a side, like a screen thumbnails state of applications
Yep.
that move onto the side. So you're now utilizing the horizontal navigation.
Oh yeah, there we go.
This could be cool for browser tab navigation if you want to get a visual sidebar.
Oh, you can
Oh,
drag
you
it
can
in.
group apps. It's kind of like the
Like the focus thing we just saw on the phone.
yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna say that. You can do that with focus modes.
This reminds me of a application I used to use where you can have a group of website tabs open using another application. So like you're in a work mode for this, and you can switch like the whole group of tabs and then load
Mhm.
like web applications. He's talking about
Mm,
screenshot dragged into
it's
the
over.
that was just a drag and drop files, right? Okay. Spotlight updates. Oh, you can peek at the result of a spotlight. That's kind of cool. Oops. You can search text inside image. You can do actions.
Kind of like getting Siri, like you're just typing in the thing and then you're getting the details pretty quick. So it's essentially rich results that make you do actionable things. I mean, the iPhone and iPad. Oh wow, the search is now replacing. Wow. Did you see that? So iOS now gets search. Instead of having the indicator of the pages on the bottom, there's a search button.
Interesting. Mail update. Do you use mail application?
No, I haven't used that for years.
Yeah, I just use Gmail directly on the web, I think.
Oh, I use the Gmail app.
Oh, for the Mac OS
Oh no. Yeah, browser for that.
browser, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about this, but I'm sure we have some viewers that do use it.
Oh, I think they ended mail app stuff really quick.
Oh, it's search in mail, I think.
Oh, search email. Okay. Oh, you can see the share documents. I think we're spoiled by Google doing such a good job already because
Yeah,
they
they do
do
that so well.
reminder, follow up, autocomplete sentence.
How's that for mail? Okay, Safari updates.
Do you use Safari? I don't use Safari.
I don't.
I just use Chrome.
I use Safari on my iPhone and iPad, but I don't use it on my Mac.
They're talking about how it's fastest, power efficient. I mean, I could see the performance for people who have tabs open all the time.
Isn't it Chromium based now? Like as of a few years?
I don't actually know if they are. I thought it's their own web engine.
Okay, so they're introducing shared tab groups.
You can share
Oh
all
wow,
the
everyone can
tabs.
share.
Oh, it's sharing a state of the tabs
Yeah.
as a group.
I don't know if I like that. I
I
mean, I could see it being good, but I'm
I
like, I
think
don't
it,
want your tab system.
yeah, I think it could work well in some limited context, like school project where you need to have all the discovery of articles and data in one tab real time.
So it looks like they're not competing with LastPass.
Or one password
Yeah.
is a big one.
So Face ID is the authentication. It's not cloud based. I guess it never uses the devices.
Escape can't be leaked. Would it work across device? Because that would be
Saying
cool.
it's saying it's encrypted, so it is across all of them, but it's on the device. I don't know how that works, but okay.
Pride Alliance. I wonder if it syncs through iCloud, because that could be kind of cool where I can just log in to everything by looking at my face instead of logging into LastPass and stuff.
Yeah.
But then you have to use their product to log into any service after that.
And we're on to gaming.
Metal 3. Then gaming has been the weakest suit that they have. So if they could solve the problem of performance, and if the game developers are more encouraged to release for the Apple ecosystem, I think
Yep.
they'll gain so much more revenue. Game loading speed to be improved. see the Capcom game dev. Oh, he's talking about the new game Resident Evil. Is that a new game or an older game?
I think it's a new game called Resident Evil Village.
I guess the big thing is that even though the range of hardware exists in Apple system, that the game would work even at the minimum level MacBook Air really well with the M2. I think that's a big thing for them. The biggest issues I
Yeah.
always hear about game devs is the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, because it's such a low performance that they sometimes don't think about building one for Switch until way later because they know it's like way underpowered. So they'll just
Yeah.
always first target PS5, PC, and
They
Xbox.
start high and then go low
Yeah,
versus low to high.
yeah. Thank you, Ujuin-san. She's got to do it. Hand off to FaceTime. Okay. You can switch to your Mac. Johnny, I think you do this sometimes. Like
I
you
do
you
this all the
start a
time.
call. Yeah, you pick up a phone first and then like, okay, let me get to my laptop and then you have to
Yep.
disconnect and then connect again.
Yep.
But this is cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Whoa, continuity camera?
Continuity camera. Oh, using iPhone as your webcam.
Wow. That's a big deal. Wait, so he puts a stand. Whoa, what is that stand? What is that stand? I want one.
Oh, must be separate accessory.
You don't have to wake up your iPhone?
Wow.
That's huge.
Vertical integration at its peak.
Man, you get to get a way high-end camera on your.
Finally, maybe I can use my moment lens.
Oh my goodness, you're right. Oh, center stage is moving. Portrait mode.
Bokeh. So now I could use like a specialized lens for. Oh, it's hard to focus, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like so easy to just like pop the extra lens on and then make it a webcam. That would be interesting.
Wait, desk view.
Desk view.
What? What is desk view? What? Wow.
Wait, how is it?
How is this doing this?
He must not be on laptop though, right?
No, he says he is.
What?
What in the world? We gotta look into that.
That's so cool.
That's huge. You can use it anywhere. Oh, it's Belkin.
Belkin makes sense. They have been very reliable manufacturer brand for these products.
Wow. More reasons to have a ecosystem, right? This is like building more and more dependency on the ecosystem. So much stuff.
What's going on here?
That was weird. He wants to be a meme, I think. My question is, how many did it take Craig to do that, where he's running and fixing his hair? Okay, so we're talking iPad OS next.
Okay, what are they adding this year?
Big release, it says.
Versatility. So the same
So
features we
shared
already
tab
talked
groups,
about.
all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Weather gets added. I don't know if that makes it a big update, to be honest, but okay.
Yeah, it's more like why weren't it on the
To begin with,
begin with? Yeah,
weather kit.
weather.
Oh, it's building into the app. That kind of makes sense to build it into the apps, not like just the weather app.
Uh
Oh,
more collaboration. Collaboration.
so if you do it through the share sheet, it kicks off a collaboration. So you're looking at what's happening here, where it's just a tap away, and it essentially kicks off a collaboration. And Craig's going to show how that works. So he shows that he's in messages. He's talking to the team about a like an offset that's coming up, and then he's using the conversation. It's like a group chat, and then he's like, "Oh, cool. What's the latest on the offsite?" Is a message, and then he goes to pages. So let's see what he's doing. So he can start a collaboration. Instead of it sharing a copy, you're sharing a collaboration. So it essentially is, let's see if we can separate this out. iPad OS 16 collaboration.
Like they're catching up to the Google Slides, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, and then you can kick off calling the group and doing stuff like that with the team.
Yeah, this would be cool if you're Apple employee, but I don't know. A lot of your
Yeah,
friends
because
don't
not
have.
everyone has iPads just sitting
Yeah,
around.
so you have to go to more collaborative platform anyway.
Yeah. It's not, yeah.
It's like
You
it's
have to be
okay.
completely bought into the ecosystem.
Mhm.
Okay, so now they're in Safari and sharing the same screen. I mean, it's cool, but unless you can make it work for other devices and non-Apple stuff, then it's kind of like a little bit more too elitist, kind of separate,
Mhm.
and I'm a big Apple user, but not I know a lot of people that aren't on Apple
Mm.
or don't have an iPad, right? Or
Right.
don't have the MacBook, but they have an iPhone. So,
It's kind of saying, like, someone owning Samsung ecosystem are now sharing something,
yeah.
and you have to have Samsung to do it. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, I think that what they're my guess is that they're targeting businesses. Think about like if our company were to say, "Hey, everyone's using MacBooks, everyone's getting an iPad, everyone has iPhones, we pay for it." Companies do that all the time. And so that if you buy into the ecosystem, then you get some huge advantages.
maybe school makes sense, right? In a classroom,
Yeah.
because you can mandate iPad as a device, and in a class you can use it.
There's a new API to integrate it into their apps. Okay.
Oh, you can add collaboration in your app. Okay. That's
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 cool.
that's cool. Yeah, yeah.
So think about using our product invent value with a
Yeah.
collaboration feature. Could be cool. So a new app called Freeform. Freeform. Tell us about Freeform. Oh, I have a feeling this is gonna kill a few apps already. We'll see. Oh, yep. That's killing Miro, maybe, or wow. It's a scrollable infinite canvas. It's an infinite canvas with editing tools. So they're competing with Miro and Mural. They're competing with Canvas software.
I mean, I like it that there
That's
is a
cool.
native version because I kind of want one just for myself, right? Not necessarily
Yeah.
sharing with other people.
Yeah.
Because I think there's an app that I had to pay for the same thing from the Apple Store. I forgot. I think it was called Notes Plus or something, like where you have an infinite canvas. So if I don't have to pay for it, I'd welcome that change.
So it's a sneak peek. Only a
I'll
sneak
use
peek
this
into
one.
it. Yeah. Built into iPadOS. So yeah, definitely competing with some software that exists already. So they're talking about gaming again and Metal 3 and stuff like that, but background download API.
Background download API.
This is gaming on iPad, so it's not gaming on MacBook. It's really specific to the iPad. Oh, I really like Sneaky Sasquatch on my they're showing a game. So you can see activity now on the iPad or iPhone. So you can see who beats scores, things like that. So they have a Game Center profile system now. Wow, you can do share play to join a game for multiplayer. Okay. So they're talking about desktop class apps, as in getting really well, like very performant, high quality applications that feel like desktops on your iPad.
Could make sense to add like Adobe product suite and maybe what's the other Apple's own software for editing.
What's that?
Undo, redo,
Yeah.
availability view, find and merge cards. Okay. Those are just Apple native functions.
Correct. Yep. So they're doing more like features that you would expect that are system wide features. So if I put that on the screen, so find and replace is pretty renovated. Document menu inside of apps is like you can do things like renaming. Customizable toolbars in iPad OS is pretty cool. So that one's pretty good. And then they're making it available for developers so they can build that directly into their own apps.
Mm,
Pretty cool.
that's pretty cool.
So another feature for Mac, I guess, is called reference color. So they're talking about reference color as a way to get color workflow kind of stuff that you're doing for editing photos and things like that. And they have something else called reference mode. Um, so color grading, compositing, accuracy of colors, things like that is all available. So this is for people using iPad Pro as a standalone device or using Sidecar from their Mac to the iPad. And so then now you have them all across your iPad flow. So it can be a pretty cool connection to everything if you're using it as a professional.
Now they're talking about M1 specific. So yeah, I guess you have to have M1 chip in your iPad to leverage these.
Yep. Okay, so they're talking about things like split view and how you'd be able to enable more things there. So they're talking about the M1 and all the stuff that comes with performance and storage and virtual memory swapping and things like that. So they're bringing Stage Manager. So the thing that we saw that was a preview on Mac OS, they're bringing that over to iPad OS, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Especially on iPad, you need that way to manage your screens way more than desktop, I would say.
Yeah, pretty cool. So Stage Manager being activated on an iPad, they can do resizing of windows. That's actually pretty cool. Resizing of windows, which seems straightforward, but so if they open up music, then you can see all the recently used app on the left. So now you can switch between left and right super easily.
New layout capability.
So let's see, overlapping windows. Interesting. So now you can have things on top of each other. That's
Whoa.
never been a thing we've ever been able to do.
Yeah, because it used to be only just side by side, like split screen, right?
Ah. So it's still repositioning and moving things in the background. It's not quite a freeform window, but you can do resizing. So you could do some of that kind of resizing effect. And then you plug it into an external display. Wallpaper fills in the full display. So they talk about all the cool things you can do when you just have a display. Not like a Mac. This is like an actual external display. and you're notching things like Keynote and things like that.
I see.
Your canvas becomes a lot bigger. So they can do up to groups of 3 or 4 windows, and then they kind of reposition them. And then if you have an iPad and an external display, you can have up to 8 apps running on the screen simultaneously. So
Oh
you can see
wow.
that.
At that point, like less and less reasons for a lot of people to not even have to go to full
Hmm.
computing.
Yeah. So they're giving an example of drawing something on Procreate. He's using his Apple Pencil on the actual screen, and then giving it some finishing touches, maybe highlighting something like, oh, here's an arrow. And so you could see that. I just dropped a screenshot on this, and then drop back to the gallery, and then drag and drop that right across the display and right into the screen. And they talk about how that's powerful for your workflow. It's essentially improvements on workflow on an iPad with a screen or without a screen. So lots happening there with iPad OS 16. So I'll put that summary screen here, but quite a lot. They didn't talk about Scribble and Tie. They didn't talk about shared photo library. They did talk about Marcus as Reddit. So no reality OS, no virtual reality, mixed reality headsets, anything like that. We knew that was a possibility, but you could see that there's a lot of foundational things. I'm really surprised that they didn't talk about augmented reality though, even if it was on 2D devices, considering all of the hype and interest and people guessing that they would at least talk about devices and helping there. That might come later this week though during WWDC. I don't know what you think, Elisha.
I don't know. I feel like it's a little early for them to maybe announce. Like we just covered Snapdragon last week, how now you can do
Yeah.
cool wires, right? I feel like technologies are still like coming to the point, and I feel like Apple even waits longer, even after some maturity of the product. And I bet they are building their own, right? Like
Yep.
Snapdragon like stuff with their silicon. So I feel like it's gonna take another like year or two, in my opinion.
Think so.
And when they come out with something, I want it to be good. I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, I see where it's going. I guess sometimes they do that with things like Apple Watch, where it's like, the battery dies in like single day or less than a day, but they release anyway. So maybe they'll do that, but I don't know if they would. Yeah, I don't know. I want it to be good if it's gonna come out.
So if you are following along and want to see what we've been talking about and where we're doing things, it's actually on our website. You can go over to our website at
Tech.
freshlabs.tech, and then I was going to put here on the screen, Elisha, just the URL with some of the details. So this is the actual URL we've been using. So it's freshlabs.tech, and then we have a link to reaction/Apple-keynote. Pretty long here, so it's kind of hard to get to it
I
super
think we're
quickly,
gonna
but
put the link on the description
yeah.
of the video.
Yep, it will do that. So if you are following along and you found that interesting, definitely give us a follow. Subscribe to our Fresh Labs YouTube channel. Um, and if you want to find us directly, you have Elisha's TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn's at Elisha Terada. And mine is I'll just put this at the bottom here, but you can find us over at mine is Try Johnny for Twitter, LinkedIn, and Metaverse Johnny on TikTok. And I want to mention one of my videos hit 1 million views today,
Oh
and I have
wow.
one more that's about to hit 1 million, I think today.
Oh
So I'll have 2 videos with
wow.
1 million views. So if you haven't followed over on TikTok, go follow there. I'll probably put some things as it relates to this topic of the metaverse and AR VR. I might put some things from today that might be previews into what predictions into some of that stuff there. So definitely go follow there as well. But we are at freshlabs.tech. And any final thoughts or reactions, Elisha?
Well, I'm excited about the M2, for sure. I think we're gonna get one of them. I don't know if we're gonna get the Air version or the MacBook 13. But that was MacBook Pro 13, right? Or was it the regular MacBook? I forgot which version it was. It was only $100 difference, but we are curious to see the, I don't know, estimated benchmark difference or what's the end price when we upgrade our memory or storage. Because I think we want to have at least 1 terabyte of memory because we do video editing and things like that. But
Yep.
we originally were looking at the MacBook Pro 14-inch, but that starts around $2,000, and by the time you upgrade to 1 terabyte, it's like 2,200, and we're like, we're not happy with the 2016 MacBook Pro, how it's like working anymore, but like jumping to 2,200, spending personal money, right, seems high. But with the M2 chip, that's basically like really good, right? I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to on par with the M1 MacBook Pros with M2 MacBook Air. I'm pretty sure there are some difference where like, it's still worth paying for the, Pro 16-inch model if you're really needing full power and if you need all the USB-C ports on the side and the SD card slot and everything. It's still worth getting the Pro version, I think, but I think we might get that for sure. Yeah, I'm also interested in all the free upgrades you get on the Apple Watch OS. That's definitely key highlight. I think the iPad OS, Mac OS, those are updates I probably won't personally use as much because I don't leverage their software as much. But yeah, Johnny, what are you excited about?
Yeah, I think, some things that come to mind, I mean, there are some cool things. The wow moments for me, to be honest, I think Stage Manager was kind of cool. The thought of being able to organize better because, that can get pretty busy. I was wowed by being able to mark a message as unread. I have so many messages that I don't open sometimes because I'm like, I don't want to click it because then I'm
Yeah.
going to lose it. And then if you click on it, it's gone, right? And then you may
Oh,
not
okay, okay.
remember, you will. So being able to say, hey, I opened it and I'm going to get back to it. Let me mark it as unread. Now you can actually read it and mark it that way. That was a small little detail that I was interested in. Definitely thought Freeform, the sneak peek of their infinite canvas editing tool, thought that was pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Not too wowed by the collaboration feature that they kept
Mm-hmm.
talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do think the desk view where you can put your iPhone and clamp it on the back of your MacBook
Oh,
Air
yeah,
or your
yeah, yeah, yeah,
display,
yeah.
and then it automatically rescales the video to give you a
Yeah,
top-down view.
they're probably
That's crazy.
morphing. They're probably somehow morphing the imagery, right?
That's what I'm thinking. It's that
Yeah.
continuity. They talked about that.
So
Um,
it's probably like shooting 45-degree angle, but they're morphing it
yep,
to look like it's. I actually wanted to do that kind of shot just in our video because sometimes I thought like, oh, maybe like just drawing on the paper might make sense to explain
yep,
some of the concepts, right?
yep.
And that would be cool. I wonder if we can intermix like our DSLR camera that we're using right now with the iPhone camera just
That's
or
gotta be
shooting
if they
down, right?
if they don't do that, that would be a missed opportunity because you may say, "Hey, this angle or this angle," and your iPad now or your iPhone now becomes like an extra screen. It's gotta be, but I guess we'll find out during
Yeah.
WWDC this week.
I wonder if it would work also without setting it on my laptop because I don't know how your setup is, but by the time
Yeah,
I have my laptop on the desk, there's not much space left for
yeah,
like pen and paper. So if I
yep,
could push the laptop behind, put the iPhone on top of my actual screen, right? The big,
yep,
screen. If it's more fluid like that, I'll be super excited about that. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, other things that stood out to me last year were like on the Watch OS, the medications, which is now on the iPhone and iPad,
Yeah,
being able
yeah.
to track medications and supplements, being able to see that. I was actually pretty impressed with the lock screen on the iPhone as well, being able to see the live widgets on the bottom. Because I'm watching the NBA finals right now this week, right? I watched game 2 yesterday and I got notification after notification after notification from the app, the NBA app. And it's just those are just they can be summarized They can be
Oh, like a score?
consolidated, but
Like a
being able to
score?
see live scores instead of having to get notifications for it, it becomes like live scores. They
Oh.
showed that, or your Uber's coming, or your food delivery is coming, or they even showed a Nike version. This is all on our page, by the way,
Mm-mm.
freshlabs.tech. You can go and see some of this stuff. So that consolidation, and then having widgets on the screen, like actual widgets, not and that's not actually like so they didn't talk about always on displays. My prediction, we're at June 6th. My prediction is when they announce the new iPhone that's coming out in September, they're going to say always on display. And then they're going to show how cool that is with the screens that we just saw, right?
Oh,
So it's going to
true.
be all that, but it's going to be always on.
Yeah, yeah. Because it would be cool if I could use iPad or iPhone where
Yep.
it shows a real-time update, but it doesn't have to be literally on real time, but
Yep.
every 30 seconds it can just update the progress bar or the scores or something, right?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and I think CarPlay was interesting. I don't have CarPlay in any of my cars, but I would really like. I told you that there was a screen that looks like the Tesla screen, the UI, but I think it's drastically improved over the Tesla screen from the UX side of things, and so I thought that was a kind of an interesting thing there.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think
maybe one
yeah,
of the episode you can help me look for replacing my dashboard on the Honda Civic
yep,
2013 to one of the Apple Play compatible ones, and then talk about like
yeah, we could.
what
Yeah, that's a
what
great idea.
how how can we do that? Like how can people do that? Because I think a lot of people don't have any idea or thought about how to leverage all these latest,
Yep,
updates into their car. Because either someone like me that are not like actively trying to upgrade my car, I'm more reactive, like if needed type of guy. But with those cool updates, right, in the UI, like now I'm more excited that if I upgrade my, dash, that I get some cool, like unified interactive experience. So it could be cool. Even just talk about like here are some of the products out there, and here's what you expect to get with the update, and see if that device can even receive those updates. I assume the CarPlay, there's some kind of a OS that needs to be embedded into the dash
hmm
device, right? Like I need to make sure that it's
yeah,
compatible with whatever that they just announced too.
that's true. So yeah, I would love to do that with you. I think that'd be good. Um, I think one I was just gonna say one other thing. I was just pulling up Twitter just to see if anybody else had shared anything, and I forgot. I told you about editing or sorry, undoing or what's it called, marking as unread on text messages. What I didn't show you, and I think this is when you were restarting your computer, is they actually have an edit button now. You can go and edit a text message that you sent. You click and hold it, edit it. And
Oh.
the tweet that's getting a lot of popularity right now is saying Apple somehow beats Twitter to the edit button. So you can go and edit your text message and you can delete. You can say unsend now. You know how you send something, you're like, oh no, I sent that. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but you can actually go and unsend something that you've already sent.
I don't know if that works outside of the iMessage ecosystem. That's my biggest question. I know Apple has got some bad rep for not cooperating with the other, companies for sticking to their proprietary messaging service system
Yep.
versus working with other companies who are trying to create like a new open system, right? So I wonder if that undo only works if we are both iOS users because Apple can tap into that proprietary data system and like, okay, find this message with this ID and remove it for from both of the devices. Whereas SMS, I feel like once it's sent, I don't know if there's a mechanical way to unsend that,
Mm,
right? So I'm curious if there's that limitation. Like I feel like there is a limitation, and if there wasn't, then why hasn't any other phone manufacturer implemented that already, right? Like
yep.
so, because that would be interesting. Where like, oh wait, no, I can undo. Wait, they don't have iPhone, so I can't undo. I don't know if you're gonna get into the weird
That is
state,
funny.
right?
Yep.
Also, I think those accidental messages are often a source of humor. So
Oh
I hope we
yeah.
don't. I hope we don't lose those.
Those cool stories and
Yeah,
opportunities. That's true.
yeah,
Um, So maybe to close off here, Elisha, before we end up here, maybe can I share a tweet that I find pretty funny? It's
oh
kind of a
yeah.
mix of what's going on in a trend, and it also has connected to what Apple's doing. So have you seen all of the all of the interesting stuff that's happening with the generative photography and art
Mhm.
that's happening right now. I mean, we talked about it in one of our streams, but there's
Yeah.
two particular pieces of software that people constantly are going and talking about right now, right? Have you been following that at all?
I don't know if I'm aware of the latest 2 that you were talking about. I
Yeah. Okay, so the one that's the biggest one in the news right now is Dolly, DALL-E. Dolly has so many cool, interesting things. You give it a prompt and it generates something, but it's not just artwork. It's now doing photorealistic things, right? So,
Oh,
have
wait,
you seen some of
I
this?
may have seen one of the wait, no, that was a sneaker. No, I think I saw the
Yeah,
sneaker
that's a
one.
sneaker.
The
That's a
oh,
sneaker.
that's the one. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So, like, if I share my screen here, let me show you this. This is Dolly generating artist, brand sneaker name, digital art, product photography, and then you start getting shoes, right? This is an example of what's
Mhm.
happening with some of those. Whereas you can go and generate. People have creative use cases for this now. So if I go to Dolly and then I go over to photos, you can see that there are thousands. A photo of a banana taped on a wall, and that's actually generated by AI.
Wow.
Or a photo of Darth Vader as Minnie Mouse with a pink lightsaber in a galaxy far, far away. Look how amazing this artwork is.
Wow.
Um, this is humanity's brain compressed into one image inside of Central Park. And so there's amazing things coming there. You can say, give me this art style, and it'll generate that art style, right? A masterful oil painting of a Persian exotic cat discovering their astounding crypto losses while checking their phone. That's what generates from that. So it's
Wow.
actually pretty interesting. I'll show this last one here. A still of Kermit the Frog in Blade Runner 2049. So this is like unlike anything we've seen. We will probably cover this in a future video because there's enough hype going around that. What I
Is
wanted
this
to show, go ahead.
was it a open ML thing that anyone can tap into it, or is it still some proprietary?
It's still proprietary. It can be photo. It's through OpenAI and it's
Okay,
Dolly,
yeah,
and it's a
OpenAI, yeah.
latest version, which is the same ones that do GPT-3.
Mhm.
It is something you have to request access to, but it just came out maybe a month ago. Um, and this is what I think I wanted to share to kind of close this off with
Mhm.
using that software. This is the prompt. Apple's annual religious ritual where hundreds of developers gather in Apple's headquarters where Tim Cook is on stage. And so the AI took
Mhm.
Tim Cook on stage with people, and it's kind of interesting where it's all Tim Cook. It came out very, very, very not accurate, but it's interesting how that's kind of set up where it's kind of this mix of this trend of Dolly and the open AI with Apple. Obviously, we don't think it's some religious ritual, but interesting, funny things that you can do with AI to generate events like today and see kind of what's going on there. So there's a little humor for y'all um,
That's
to close
cool.
us
Like
off.
that could help with a lot of diversity in the stock photography if it generates it really well, right? Like
Yes.
you can instantly create stock photography that represents the new norm as opposed to like, okay, you got to wait for the photographers around the world to capture that image, right? And
Yep.
however long it takes, then you can use the stock photography. But
Yes, people are saying that it's going to replace quite a lot of creative process and stock photography, stock imagery. That instead of you going to like Getty Images or stockimages.com or whatever it is, stock.com, you just type in a prompt like, hey, I'm looking for this really specific thing. And if it comes back with something you don't like, man, I don't like that it's dark, you could say daytime. And then now it generates the same one with daytime. Um, things like that. Or people are saying they're using it for like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Let's say it's like a Broadway show and I'm thinking about the artwork that might or like how the stage should be set up, and you can actually use this kind of software to go and generate new fashion outfits, scenes. It might be like how you should set up your desk in your room, or hey, I have these 6 pieces of furniture, how should they be arranged when I'm looking for a you know uh mid-century modern style mixed with boho, right? And then it's like boom, you get like your setup. So there's quite a lot that it can start to
I
generate.
love that. I love that idea because we
Yeah.
often think about that, but we have to go to Pinterest and then like scroll through and search. And you get some typical stuff there, but if machine could generate something unique that you never even thought of, then that could be an
Yep.
inspirational idea. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty incredible. I think, like I said, we'll want to cover it because some of them are goofy, but I want to get into like real applications of Dolly in the real world and thinking about it for the business world and how, like you talked about stock photography, but it could be other things. It could be how you convey something would be really interesting. So, um, yeah, there's quite a lot of accounts that are doing stuff on that, but we'll come back to it. But that's our Apple keynote coverage today, our live reactions. As we kind of watch some of that, we did kind of stop halfway through there and then started a new stream here, all connected over to freshlabs.tech. So we'll throw that back up on the screen one more time, but you can see that over at this is their live stream setup. And then you could see what we did over at freshlabs.tech,
Yep.
reactions, Apple keynote. And we'll put
Yep.
some
And
link
it's in
graphics for
the
that.
video description on the YouTube.
Excellent.
Cool.
Alrighty.